Good day everyone. Welcome to the Math Consulting Services case competition. Thank you so much to the CEO, Mr. Aldonio, for giving us the opportunity. We are the XBT team from Hannover. I am Bharati Priyadashini along with my colleagues Jan and Udam here to present the case of creating incentives for change by keeping score for the allied engineering. So throughout the session we are going to focus on how allied engineering is going to establish congruence in the pursuit of their goals. While doing the analysis and the recommendations of this case, we have identified three key issues of allied engineering. Management, the first is pushing towards a collaborative work environment, but rather it's rewarding for individuals. The second issue is that the company's main revenue stream is failure analysis. It predicts that there will be a significant decline in the demand for its failure analysis. And third is that there is no clear successors in the leadership team as of now, as the current leaders are going to be retired soon. So with these issues in mind, and then we will look at where does allied engineering is find itself for. First, it's a 30-year-old company, employee-owned company, and since its inception, the company has grown a lot and it has expanded to 3 locations within the United States of America. And as I mentioned earlier, the failure analysis is the major revenue stream for the company. Almost 75% of the revenue comes from the failure analysis, so it enjoys a national reputation for its expertise in the failure analysis. And finally, the insurance companies and attorneys are their key clients. So from the issues and the current position of the company, what we can identify is that the company enjoys the reputation from its current revenue stream, that is the failure analysis, and there is a possibility of acquiring new clients through diversification of the services. And to do this, there is a need to align the organizational goals and the individual effort. So with these things in mind, I am handing it over to my colleague Udam to proceed further.
Hello everyone, and thanks Bharati. So let's evaluate and analyze the company situation, and we are going to analyze the company situation on two basic analysis. One is RIO analysis and another one is pest analysis. Let's start with pest analysis. What is pest analysis? We analyze the situation on the basis of political condition, economic factors, technology and social culture. So what is political factors? Right now political factors would be determined by change in government regulation, international law and taxation. So it could be anywhere, like internally in the country and externally outside the country. Means like whatever happens in US would going to reflect or impact Europe and other countries. So it's a macro level going to impact the elite engineering means further approach. And the second is economic factors, which is again 3 points. First one is risk dependency of failure analysis or failure analysis revenue system. Right now engineers are expecting something from revenue, but they are not getting that in the future would hamper the most any company. And the second is employment rates and the change in wage rates. So this again, like economic factors, right now the economic conditions are good, so you are fine. Tomorrow it's not good, so it would hamper again. And the third one is technology, which is one of the most important. Technology is keep changing with a rapid movement. Digitalization and the innovation is happening with a rapid movement and changing the whole process throughout. So which we can see, we have pointed out here, constant changes in technology and industrial automation. And the third one is laboratory facilities. Yeah, other outside of your premise can have thousands technology, but what you have, that matters the most. And the fourth one is social culture. First of all, we divided into 4 parts. First is no clear successor. Right now late engineering has no clear successor. They right now they have a good potential engineering consultant, but what after that? And the second is attitude towards cross-discipline, cross-geographical collaboration. They wanted to do this, but what is the attitude of workers of this? And the third one is employee behavior, and employee morale. While giving a reward system, that also hampers or sometimes gives a positive note to the company. So company need to look on these 4 factors the most. Now let's move away to RIO analysis. So what is RIO analysis? We will analyze all the resources of all capabilities of a company on the basis of 4 factors. Is it valuable? Is it rare? And how difficult or how easy it is to imitate? And the 4th one is it organized in the institution or not? And on the basis of that, we will get the result. So first of all, engineering consultant staff, they have, is it valuable? Yes. Rarity? Yeah, it's very difficult to get for everyone. And costly to imitate? Yes, you need high skilled labor. And is organized? Yeah, in elite engineering, it is well organized. So we can say this is sustained competitive. So this is advantage for them. And same goes for reputation of expertise in failure analysis. They have, this is rare, and this is organized well, and this is costly to imitate. This is also advantage. Now talk about cross discipline and cross geographical collaboration. Is it valuable? It is more valuable. It gives you more idea throughout the industry what to pursue, what not to pursue. Is it rare? Yes, it's sometimes rare, because first you see how to fill the place, then cross cultural interaction comes. Is it difficult to imitate? No, it's not very difficult. And is it organized in elite engineering? No, it's not elite engineering. Elite engineering is not organizing this well, so they should work on this. So that is the reason we put this on temporary competitive advantage. It could be improved far better. Then 4th one is alignment of organization and individual goals. Is it valuable? Yes, to succeed for any company, this is very, very, very valuable. Is it rare? No, it's not rare. For every organization, this is happening. Any good organization who is succeeding, this is happening across the globe. Is it costly to imitate? No, because this is the starting process if any country wants to progress. And is it organized in elite engineering? No. Difficult to say. This is not very well organized. So that is the reason we gave it competitive parity. And same goes for translating cooperative strategy into BSc. This is valuable, but not very rare. Costly to imitate? No. Organized? Again, no. They should work on it, and this is competitive parity. And the last one is rewarding system. Rewarding system is very valuable in any organization. In this organization, elite engineering, is it organized well? No. They are rewarding X while hoping for Y. Is it rare? No. Every good organization who is very profitable, organized well. So this is not rare. And reward well, this is not rare. And costly to imitate? No. This is not at all costly to imitate. So now we have a key takeaways. So what we got from the analysis. So our key takeaways are, what are the threats in front of elite engineering? There are 2 threats: lack of goal congruence, and the second one is significant decline in demand. What are the advantages they have? They have good engineering consultant staff. Having a good engineer and having engineering with the edge of consultant is 2 different things, and they have the both. And the third and the last one is reputation and expertise. You get a reputation throughout meeting the goal for years. So they have that reputation. These are the key takeaways. I will hand over to Bhati for further. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Udam. That's now we are going to see how we are going to make use of the competitive priorities to overcome the threats. So for that, the case presented with us a draft BSc balance scorecard, but it has its own shortcomings because the CEO of the company, Mr. Paul Johnson, has come up with 5 goals for the 5-year plan. With a 5-year plan, and the CEO of the company, Mr. Stewart, presented us a draft scorecard which lacks certain inputs. And first step, the draft scorecard comes up with only the 4 perspectives of the balanced scorecard and n number of KPIs, which is not going to be useful for us to proceed further. So the first step, what we did was we just mapped the goals of Mr. Paul with the 4 perspectives of the balanced scorecard, and then we did the KPI appraisal for all the key measures that Mr. Stewart has identified using the core and instrumental properties of the balanced scorecard. and the winning KPI measure of the KPI appraisal are mapped against this balance scorecard. So against each of the perspectives of the balance scorecard. And apart from that, we also included the targets and initiatives for each of the perspectives to make sure that the goal confluence is achieved. So for the first financial perspective, our target is going to be 25 million, and to achieve the target, we are going to motivate the employees with the initiative of 5% of the actual revenue as a group bonus. And as you can see, the financial and the learning and growth perspective is going to be more objective. So the target is going to be 25 million for the financial one and 3 trainings per month for the learning and growth. And for the customer and the internal, we are going to move towards the relative performance, because the company is more pushing towards the business team concept, and the initiative is going to be more relative for both customer and internal business process. It's going to be a spread of the relative percentage of the billable hours among the members of the group. And in order to encourage our existing clients to refer, to bring up with more referrals, we are also offering a 10% reduction to the customers for the service charge for the immediate consulting of every successful referral. And based on this, we also have come up with a reward system based on the targets and the initiatives. So we also have identified the kind of evaluation that we are going to do for each of the perspectives. As we mentioned earlier, we are going to do an objective performance evaluation for financial and the learning and growth perspective, and relative performance evaluation for the customer and the internal business growth. And the kind of, we also have maintained a balance between a group and individual, as well as monetary and non-monetary rewards. And also we make sure that we have a clear distinction between the long and short-term rewards as well. And we also have identified 2 areas where we are going to reward them based on their efforts, that is the internal business and the learning growth innovations, because it's more on the collaborative environment and the training, individual training perspective. So this is going to be the first alternative of one of the recommendations. I'm now handing it over to Mr. Yan to proceed further.
Thank you, Bharati. So the second alternative we have to offer is very similar to the first alternative on the balance scorecard, except on the measures for the customers. We have included the number of new clients for industrial consulting, and this is to ensure that our own employees are also encouraged to bring in new customers, and they don't only rely on referrals from our existing clients. Then we have some differences in the targets. So for financial, we maintained the $25 million target. The initiative is promotion of the extended services at reduced rates. So we will offer the new services from Elite Engineering at reduced costs. And then moving over to the customers, the target for each employee to bring in a new client is 10 for the annual year. And we also are targeting 5 referrals from our existing clients. The initiative that goes with that is that employees will receive a 10% bonus on their monthly salary for the amount of clients they have brought in for Elite Engineering. And together with that, to reward the customer, we will give them a 5% discount on their invoice for the week we offer them. Moving on to the internal business processes, we want to have 80% of the projects to be geographical or cross-disciplinary projects. And the initiative is that a maximum of 50% of the bonus pool will be available to employees should this target not be met. Bringing us to the last perspective, the learning and growth. So in the target we have set is 5% of the billable hours from employees needs to be allocated to training and development of the peers. And the initiative again is related to the performance and the bonus payout. So if they meet the target of 5%, there is a factor that's multiplied by the bonus pool of 1. For 4% it's 0.8, and that reduces all the way to 0 should the employee have spent less than 2% of their billable hours on training. The reward system to go with the second alternative is slightly different. So the performance evaluation is objective performance evaluation for all the measures in the different perspectives. The type of reward for financial is group and monetary. The reward for a result based on the revenues, and then the time span is a long term. So the target is to have this for the next 5 years. Moving on to the customer, the type of reward is more individual, and it's a monetary reward as they get rewarded on their monthly salary. It's a reward for effort from their side, and also long term to encourage them to bring in more customers, not only at once-off period. Taking us to the customer themselves, this is also an individual and non-monetary type of reward. So it just comes to appraisal for the employee for the good services provided, which encourage the customer to proceed with the referral. This is a short-term reward as an employee is appraised. And then going to the second last one for internal business, that again is a group target, so it's also a group and monetary reward. The reward is for effort to make sure that the projects are executed in either cross-geographic or cross-team disciplines. It's a short-term reward in the sense that it's a punishment should it not be achieved. And the last one for the learning and growth, again it's a punishment, but it's only a short-term one, and it relates to the effort, and it's an individual effort that the employee puts into development and training. So if we conclude, just to provide a sample of the evaluation on how we selected the measures, all 4 the options or for each perspective was considered, and then rating them according to the core KPI properties or the instrumental KPI properties. The best measure was identified, and that was then selected as the performance measure for each perspective, except in alternative number 2, we have 2 of the alternatives that selected for that measure. So to get to the conclusion, we have found that the implementation of a comprehensive balanced scorecard is required for goal congruence to be achieved within lead engineering. A balanced reward system comprising short-term, long-term, monetary, non-monetary, individual and group rewards are also required to support the balanced scorecard that we have provided. And lastly, elite engineering needs to develop an organizational vision, mission and strategy to align all the efforts that will then make part of the performance management system framework. As these are not evident in the case, this needs to come from the board level and from the owner to provide direction to the rest of the organization. Thank you very much.